Check out this submission we got this week. Now, this is a very talented artist, but for some reason he wanted to know my opinion on his artwork, so stick around, guys. Let's do a review. This tattoo was sent in by Danny G, and you can find him working out of Oldham, UK. And as it says on his Instagram, multi-award winning tattoo artist Danny, why the hell do you care what I have to say about your work? Obviously, some other people think you're a pretty talented guy, but if you want to hear from me and my viewers, let's go ahead and break it down. So, obviously, this is a talented artist, and this is some really cool custom design stuff. I really dig it. I love the vibrance of it. I love the way he put it together. Now, for the design, if we're going to rate the design, I think he did a great job of, creating good contrast in here. It's really smart to put these black letters in the foreground. They just pop really well. And then you notice the midground and the background are all just medium and light tones. And you'll notice there's no dark tones in there. There's very little black. Here's like the only black shadowing throughout the whole background there. And that's what makes it so these letters in the foreground pop so much. It's because there's no other black in there. Now, that being said, for me personally, I'm a fan of contrast, and so I think some spots like down here where the pig's in the mud, I think he should maybe have used a brown concentrate, a really rich brown down here, especially on the edge of these letters, right? Because they would help this white edge right here pop off even more if it had a dark contrast around it. And then same thing up here. You notice on the windmill, he put a shadow behind the pig, and that's a good way to make your foreground image look like it's in the foreground, just a little bit of shadow off things in the background. I think he should have done that a little bit more on the barn here. Again, just to kind of really differentiate those layers, the middle ground, background, and foreground. So I'm a fan of that contrast. I wish there was a little bit more, maybe a little bit of shadow in the ears there, maybe actual black in the mouth, just a little bit of a shadow right in there. And same with the grass here too. You got your light green, your medium green. If you brought that dark green down around this letters here, or around this sort of lettering sticker here, I think it would have made it pop a little bit more, especially when you got this bold white outline on a client who has really fair skin. So I'm curious to see, how well that'll hold up. But regardless, having a dark contrast behind it would make it pop a little bit more. Now, he has a ton of other images, custom designs in his portfolio, some amazing, mind-blowing ones. I love to look through it, and so he definitely knows how to do contrast, and I see a lot of nice, rich contrast in there. So I hate to dock him points on this particular one for not having contrast. I think this is what he was going for, this sort of really happy-go-lucky, bright, vibrant design. For the design, I would rate it a 9 out of 10. And when we're talking about saturation, man, whatever he is doing to saturate this white is working. Danny, keep that up. It is working beautifully. The light blue, the light green, these are all sort of difficult colors to saturate really well over a large area without overworking the skin too much or getting too much bleed through. And so this is a freshly done tattoo, and you're not seeing a bunch of irritation or redness or blood peeking through those light tones. So his saturation game is on point. The only thing that I caught when he sent me a healed photo, and you'll have to excuse this shitty quality photo his client sent him, but the only thing I noticed is the black up here. You can see this is maybe still healing. You get this kind of glare effect when your tattoo's still healing, so it's possible it's not fully solidified and the skin's still working on a little bit, but I do notice that this black up here, it might not heal super black. You might need some touch up in that black. And if we go down to this black here, you can see I'm seeing a little bit of pitting and stuff. And again, this might, because it's still healing, but it does look like to me that he'll need to redo that black. And so his saturation game with them colors is on point, but I think the black might need a little bit of work. You got to kind of finesse that a little more, maybe thin out your black, or maybe slow it down, try different mags, try different round shaders, whatever might work best for filling in tight little black areas in these letters without overworking the skin too much. For the saturation, I'm going to give you a 9 out of 10 again, because I do think you're an incredibly good artist, Danny, and this shows some real skill in your application technique. And for the healing, again, I would rate it a 9 out of 10. I'm not seeing a lot of things besides those letters that I think wouldn't heal well or won't look good, a year down the road. This is pretty solid stuff. Now, there's a few of these little lines here where you can see, and I'm really sympathetic to this. I don't want to dock any points for this, but anytime you're coloring next to the lines you do, you got to keep that in mind, that you're working over those lines again, so you're doing multiple amounts of damage to that line work, and especially in a tight little area like this barn up here, right? So when he goes to color in the red, he's going over top of that black line that he did, and that can cause it to heal a little bit rougher, and that's a difficult thing for any artist, so again, I hate to dock him for anything like that. So for the healing, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10, which obviously means overall this one would get a 9 out of 10 from me. Guys, definitely go check out Danny G if you live out there in Oldham, UK. He's a phenomenal artist, incredible when it comes to custom designing tattoos like this one. So that's it for this one. Let him know how you guys feel. How would you rate his tattoo down in the comments? And if you want your tattoo rated, just send it in, guys. All right, bye-bye.